Are you talking about today or the season?
The season thus far.
I mean, the most disappointing thing is that we're what, 1-9 now? Like we've lost 9 in a row. That's disappointing.
About today, what was the most disappointing aspect of today?
The slow start. You know, we've been talking about executing and doing it early, and just missed on some opportunities. And when you do that against a good team, that's, you know, you're not going to be in it at the end of the game. You know, thought we had a chance, you know, going into halftime to double dip. I thought that we did a good job of moving the ball down there. You know, got in field goal range, missed it, and then went 3 and out on the next opportunity coming out of halftime. You know, we had 4 penalties on the day, and I felt like they were all on the same drive. You know, you can't do that and expect the moves to change.
What did you tell the team in the locker room afterward?
And I told it, like, we have to watch this tape, and again, like, we talked that it was going to be about execution, and we didn't do that well enough early. And so when you don't do that early in the game, it's hard to bounce back because you're playing a game sort of one-sided from that point, trying to play catch-up. But I also told them, like, we need to move on from this one as fast as possible because we've got a short week, and our only focus needs to be on Michigan State and performing well and playing well and trying to get a win on the road in East Lansing.
Ryan, they open it up with the 2 touchdown runs where guys were untouched. There's the explosive pass where guys just waiting to get the ball in the end zone. Like, beyond just today, why is this defense still so fundamentally flawed this far into your second season?
Yeah, it's very disappointing. You know, I don't, you know, other than that, you know, obviously we'll have conversations in house. But yeah, it's inexcusable to have guys, you know, wide open or guys not being touched on explosive runs. Like that can't happen. And I know we got a lot of young guys playing, but that, like you said, it's happened a lot. So it is disappointing.
Ryan, is it mostly execution, or do you feel there's a talent gap between you and a lot of the teams on your schedule so far this year?
I mean, when you look at the schedule in its totality, obviously it's a tough one, right? But we knew that going into the season, and I think there's a combination of a lot of things that have led to where we are right now. You know, obviously the strength of the schedule, and the combination of not executing and having, you know, mental errors and mental bust. That ain't a great combination.
Obviously, a season like this brings forward a lot more questions than it does answers. What has been the hardest question to get answered so far?
The hardest question from who?
As a program, as a team. Like, for you, as a head coach this year, there's obviously a lot more questions than there are answers. What's been the hardest question for you to get answered so far this year?
I'm not sure. I've been asked a lot of questions, you know what I mean? I've been asked a lot of questions by a lot of people. So I think, you know, that's what I'll say about that.
Other questions? Go back to Tom.
I guess, how do you just keep going, Ryan? It's gotta be frustrating week in and week out, staying positive and just trying to keep this thing pushed forward.
Yeah, man, I think it's awkward to ask, like, how do you keep going? You know what I mean? Like, this is my job. I'm competitive, and, you know, we've got a game on Friday, so it's not, you don't need motivation to keep going, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm built for this. I feel like we have identified some things that need to change. You know, we are fully prepared to going into next season, and going into these last 2 games. And so there doesn't need to be any added motivation, or like I'm not hanging my head and wallowing in sorrow. Like I've got a job to do, and I've got 120 guys in the locker room who are looking to me to point them in the right direction and keep them motivated and moving forward. And so again, has this season been difficult? Absolutely. Like I'm competitive, and so when you don't win, I don't care if you're playing cards or you're playing in the Super Bowl. Like, it sucks. I hate it. But I also know where we're going. I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of, and I know what this program is capable of if everybody's on the same page. And so that's what gets me excited and keeps me motivated, because I believe that this is a good job, and I believe in what we're doing and how we're doing it. Obviously, I think there's things that we need to look at and evaluate and to help us moving forward. But if I know who I am, I know the people that I care about and that I value, like their opinions of me. But I also know me. I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of, and I know what this program is capable of, and what that's going to look like moving forward.
Ryan, obviously, current state of college sports, at the end of the season, there's gonna be guys who leave this program, you're gonna go get guys to come into this program. How are you navigating that already with a couple of weeks left in the season? And does it become something that affects roster decisions you're making, playing decisions you're making? Do you have to set that all aside? How do you, as a head coach, how do you figure that out?
Yeah, we figured out very strategically, right? You gotta evaluate the roster in its entirety and identify, who you can't let walk out the door. You know what I mean? I feel like we have learned from that as a program, and so like obviously with the new rules that have changed with revenue share and the transfer portal and the size of the roster, like absolutely we're in talks almost every day with that specific department within our program. And so, we've already began discussions with guys on our roster about their plans for the future, and where we see them in terms of their status on our team. You know what I mean? So you got to navigate it carefully, strategically, and you got to have open and honest and transparent conversations.
Are you more confident today that you'll be able to successfully keep your best players than you were able to last year?
Absolutely.
Any more questions for Coach? All right, thanks, Coach. Well, players in short